This is azurite with little embellishments of malachite, which is generally the natural trajectory of things like azurite. It's a copper carbonate mineral which will ultimately turn green over enormous periods of time. Now, interestingly, there is this school of thought in lots of literature and lots of websites that tends to tip a hat to the presumption that the ancient Egyptians used to use things like lapis, which is actually a rock, not a mineral, as things like blue eyeshadow and various varieties of blue makeup. Now, there's not actually any archaeological evidence for this at all, and this kind of makes sense because the presumption makes no sense and is based on a presumption in and of itself. And the presumption is that lapis, when ground up, turns blue, which doesn't make any sense because when you grind up lapis it actually makes grey. Therefore, the presumption that the ancient Egyptians used to use things like lapis as blue makeup doesn't make any sense and never has. However, things like azurite and malachite, when they're ground up, do actually reflect the colours that they're ground up into. Malachite, when ground up, remains green. Azurite, when ground up, remains blue. So if the ancient Egyptians did use any minerals as makeup, azurite may very well have been used for blue and malachite may very well have been used for green. So if you ever hear someone say that lapis was used by the ancient Egyptians as makeup, please remind them there is no evidence for that whatsoever. However, we do have evidence that they used this.